Hi folks, I recently did a video of my top 10 ultra rare Airfix scale model kits, and I asked in the comments what you thought should be on your list of these rare kits, and wow, you did not disappoint. You've left me over 200 comments on suggestions of rare kits from the Airfix range. So we're going to go through another load of ultra rare kits from Airfix. As before, we'll have a little look on ScaleMates to see when they were released or re-released and who buy, because some kits were reboxed, etc. Then we'll go over to eBay as the global platform of where you can get a lot of rare kits from. And I stress again, like I did last time, these are guide prices, and I'll try to find sold listings of the models as well as what they are currently on that platform. So with all these suggestions, I'm going to try and go through them in an order of category, and I think this time we'll start off with film franchises. I think that'll be a good place to start. So first on the list, and this had a lot of comments, people were suggesting this, was the James Bond Special Agent 007 DB5 1/24 scale car. It only had 3 releases, only once in the Airfix box, which was 1966, then released again by Airfix by Craftmaster around the same time, and then in 1968, the last time we had seen it released was by Plasti/Airfix. Going on to eBay, there were 5 results, and the range of these kits in prices that were being offered was £156 all the way up to £312, with one in Australia about £75, but that will be with £54 in shipping. And just going down through the sold listings, there wasn't a single one sold. So either they're too expensive to buy, or no one realizes that this is a rare kit that's never going to be seen again. I'm for another rare Airfix kit, which is James Bond related, is the Toyota 2000 GT in 1/24 scale. Only released twice, once in 1968 and again in 1970, but without the James Bond franchise sort of box art. Going by sold listings, one has sold bids for £95. And there are none available for sale on eBay at present. So that kind of shows there's not that many kits out there, unfortunately. So if you are looking for one, good luck, because there's none for sale. Next, still going on with the TV specials, we're going to go for Jerry Anderson's Stingray. And believe it or not, this one isn't even mentioned on ScaleMates. I have found one at the Stingray Memorabilia Museum. They have a picture of the kit, the plastic, and the instructions with a description saying this 35-piece, 30cm long plastic model kit was only available through a Lions Made promotion for their Sea-Jet ice lollies. To obtain the kit, you had to fill in a coupon in a comic and send it along with 6 shillings to the address with those wrappers from this sea lolly. As this wasn't going to go out to general sale in model shops or toy shops, it didn't come in a fancy box. In fact, it came in a corrugated blank cardboard box with your name on it and your address. But if you go looking online, somebody has created a fantasy box for it. So if you do have this kit and you want a box for it, there's one here on eBay, and it is a very good representation of what the box might have looked like if they had sold this kit to the general public. Price wise, who knows? There was one allegedly on eBay for £1,000, but it was painted and complete, not in its original box. So you tell me, put it out there. If you've got one in the stash, it could value of it could be £1,000 plus. There's one missing from that list, but we'll talk about that at the end of this video. Right, next off, let's look at figures that Airfix have produced over the years. A couple have been mentioned, but in particular, this one, which was the Boy Scout in 1/12 scale. released back in 1965 and never seen again. And there's two available on eBay at this moment for sale. Bids are starting at £53 and the buy it now price of £131. And there's another one which has been listed and buy it now price of £295. Looking through the sold listings, one went for £275, one has come out at £195, and another one on bids at £127. So there are people out there who are willing to spend extra cash on these rare Airfix kits, and that Boy Scout kind of proves that sometimes you can put a number or a price on a kit and you will get it. Hiya, while I was editing the video, I just thought I'd jump in very quickly and just ask that if you're not a subscriber but are enjoying the content on this channel, will you do me a favour and consider being a subscriber? It's completely free, and all you have to do is click subscribe, ring that bell, click all to be notified when I release a new video. It also helps if you could like this video too. For my next video, I'm looking at Revell, and if you know of a rare scale model kit from the Revell scale model range that you think I should be looking at, will you please leave it in the comments below. That's it, let's get back to the video. Another rare figure is the Show Jumper, also in 1:12 scale, released back in 1974 and never seen again. There's one for sale at the moment on eBay for £104 or best offer, and one was sold for £42.32. With these kits, the price is in the eye of the beholder, and it varies between what people expect for the kit and what people will buy for a kit. But I assure you that there are people out there, if they see a box that looks pristine in mint, the value can go up. But this is eBay, and it is, as I said, it's a global platform, and if I'm looking for a particular kit and I can't find it elsewhere and it's pretty old or rare, the first place I would look for a kit like this would be on eBay. Another kit that was mentioned to me was the Black Prince, but it had 4 releases, and I've added it because it was mentioned a few times in the comments. It was bagged originally in 1959, then put in boxes in 1962, and then 1973, and again in the 70s. Not particularly rare, but I know that the bagged version does hold some value. I have seen the bagged version at a trade show once, and he wanted £150, and even on eBay, they're going for around the £100 marks. But the box standard box version, between £30 and £50, as you can see, some there for 40 quid. So yeah, a rare kit which does have some value to someone out there. Right, one last figure, and I think this is the rarest figure of them all. I've never held one, I've never even seen one, but I'd love to own one. It is, of course, Ton Up Tony, a daredevil in disguise with an aerial arrow bike. I think that's right. But it has, you know, even the box art is Roy Cross, so this must have been right out of his comfort zone. It was released back in 1967. I've never seen one. Allegedly, it has 58 parts. I've not seen one for sale. There's not one on eBay at all. It's up for grabs or selling, so I'm assuming it's one of them kind of kits that when they do come up on eBay, they are worth a few quid, and they probably get snapped up just as quick. This was part of a set of 3, by the way. There was one called Tollway Daddy, or just Daddy, the Way Out Suburbanite. Again, a wild and wacky monster. And one was called Freddy Flameout, the Way Out Jet Jockey. These were basically wild, wacky monsters, and Airfix released them. So those previous 2, the Daddy and the Freddy Flameout, they were originally Hawk tools, and for some reason Airfix had the rights to those 2 particular kits. They were released. There was a whole range of these kits from Hawk back in 1963 called the Weirdo range, and because Airfix already had the aerial arrow bike already, all they did was tool up Ton Up Tony, got Roy Cross to do some box art, and released that box or that kit with those. Now, somebody said that it's something to do with Kitmaster. They bought the rights, or they bought the company Kitmaster by Rosebud. Airfix wanted an extra model and released it as a trio of weirdo kits. There's a very brief history of those 3 very weird kits, and quite rare too. Now I guess it's time to move on to some what I would call Airfix bread and butter. Kits that we will associate Airfix more for. And we're going over to one of the ones that were mentioned a few times in the comments, and it was, of course, the SAM 2 missile set. It came with a launcher and transporter. It was released back in 1973, released again a year later in 74, and the last time it was released was 1975. At the moment, on the sales on eBay, there's 2. One's at £94 and the other's at £78 and 71p on bids. And on solds, there's about 13 that have sold in the last year, I guess, on eBay. And the prices have ranged, and these are all on bids, by the way, between £36 and £60 for this kit. So not really overly expensive, but still quite rich if you're looking for a kit like this to build. You know, a bit of a classic, really. Again, it's in the eye of the beholder, and looking at them, they're normally going cheaper on the bids, but if you do want to buy one outright, you can see 50 quid is what they're going for. I'm just saying. Another bread and butter associated kit from Airfix. What about the Saunders Row SR53 in 1:72 scale? Released back in 1958 as a bag kit. Same time, 1959, also in a bag kit. It wasn't until 1963 that it was then put into a box. Bagged again in 1967, but its final release, or the last time it was seen anywhere, was by MPC, where they put it in a box. And again, 1968. Looking on eBay, on the solds, there's nothing. But there is one boxing, and they're saying it's an Airfix kit, but I'm unsure. It's by Ursus, and they're wanting £26 and 72p for that one. Again, nothing on eBay of this kit, so could this be another ultra rare kit that Airfix released and not many are available out there in the big wide world? Another very rare kit and not seen often on eBay is the Codit Glider. Doesn't come with a scale, but it's got an 18-inch wingspan. Free flying glider is what the description's saying for this one. Released back in 1974 and obviously never seen again. Now on eBay there was one sold for £37 on bids and there's only one for sale on eBay. Allegedly it's 1:12 scale according to this listing. There's one for £349 and 95p with £10 shipping. So again, it's 10 times the amount it got through bids. Again, eye of the beholder, like I've said. If this is a kit that you really want, there's some value here on that particular scale model. And just going through the cars, there were a lot of cars that were mentioned that were extremely rare. I get it, you know, there was the Vauxhall, etc. And there were some bikes as well that weren't re-released after their first edition. The C15 from BSA, again, the Ariel Arrow, and there was a few others. But the one car that really did catch my eye when I was doing the research on this video, because of the prices that they're going for on eBay, is the Austin Maxi. Now, the Austin Maxi was released back in 1971. It's a 1:32 scale kit. On eBay, the solds were £120 on bids. So there was a job lot of the racing cars, the slots like the Jaguar E, which included the Austin Maxi, went for £127. There was a part built for £38, and there was a complete one with that box for 67 quid, and there was one for £82. Those were the solds. But for sale, there are two. One is at £146, 32p, and the other's at £260 and 72 pence. expensive kit, expensive, but very, very rare. So that was one car from a list of cars that people have mentioned, but I picked that one out because it had some real expense and people have spent money on that particular kit. And that kind of brings me on to the final kit, which I wanted to discuss and go through. And maybe it's not really an Airfix rare kit, because in fact, according to what I'm reading, it wasn't an Airfix tooling. Now the kit in question is the Fireball XL5, and again, it was a promotional scale model kit which went along with the release of the Zoom ice lollies from Lions Made. Now, according to the promotional advert, all you had to do was send off 2 Zoom wrappers and a postal order of 4 shillings and 6 pence, I think it is, or 22.5p to obtain this kit. Now, on the advert, it says, please send me my Kitmaster Fireball XL5 kit. There's no mention of Airfix in the advert, whereas the Stingray said Airfix construction kit. So this begs the question, was this an Airfix kit? Now, I'm in no doubt that Airfix was a main player in producing scale model kits back in the day, and they are now. And that includes for other manufacturers. And so with the Kitmaster, I'm assuming that they own the tooling and they had it made by Airfix. It was never released as an Airfix kit. It was always mentioned as a Kitmaster, and Kitmaster's by Rosebud. And Airfix did buy that company later on in the 60s. But could this be classed as an Airfix rare kit? Grey area, very grey area. You know, as I said, it never came in a box. It only came as a blank cardboard box, and it would have your name and address on it, and that's it. There is a Kitmaster website, kitmaster.org, and it even shows you the kit built. There's a diagram there of the layout, or you know, the instruction on how to build the Fireball XL5, and it even came with a buttonhole badge. It was mentioned in one of the Airfix magazines back in July of 1963, and there is a what I would call a what if. I say what if because I've been slapped about in the last video about what you can class as a what if. And somebody's created a box art of what it might look like if it had been a full Kitmaster production. Anyways, I've put this in here. It is a very rare scale model kit, but can you class it as Airfix? I'm going to say no. And if you disagree with me, put it in the comments below. Wow. There you go. There's 12, 13 model kits there that could be ultra rare from the Airfix range, dating back all the way to the 50s. Thank you so much for all those suggestions in the comments. Some, you know, like the Spitfire, the original Spitfire 1955. Yeah, a rare kit back in the day, but they have been released so many times, and apparently going by what I've read, in the year 2000 they re-released it as an anniversary edition, so I didn't add that to the list. There's a few that I didn't add to this list, but you know, this is the beauty of YouTube, the beauty of scale modeling. In your heart and in your mind, you have specific rare kits that you consider to be worth the money, worth collecting, and in your mind, extremely and ultra rare. My next video is going to be about Revell, so if you can, go to the comments and write down what you believe or think is a rare scale model kit that Revell have produced and we've not seen for a long time, or it has value. Please put them in the comments below and I'll have a look at them and probably produce another video for that. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and liked the video, please press like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, ring that bell, click all to be notified when I release a new video. Huge shout out to my channel members who help me financially with this channel. If you'd like to become a channel member, click join below and select which membership tier you so wish. We have a Thursday night meetup where we work off our workbenches and we chat and talk about scare modelling in every part of it, including techniques, what's being released, you know, and generally just having a laugh. So if you want to be part of that, join the membership below. In the four corners will be a playlist or a video from my channel that you might enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.